Welcome to Unlocking the Power of Your Personality Type. I'm Samantha Mackay, lead trainer at Truity, and today we're talking about how INFPs can break the cycle of overwhelm and stuckness that prevents them from finding an authentic career. Now, INFPs can have a very critical inner voice that can have them quickly feeling overwhelmed about what kind of career they should be doing. And it's not easy to figure out what feels right, but when they do, they feel a sense of conviction and focus and unstoppable motivation. To find that, INFPs need to try new things, but they can get stuck inside until they break the cycle of impossibility thinking, where our dreams to heal the world seem too big to be feasible. Now, this cycle is essentially the feeling and intuitive parts of our minds running away with themselves and forgetting that they benefit from the grounding that sensing and thinking provide. So here are some sensing and thinking strategies to help bring some balance back to your inner world. Let's start with sensing. Sensing is about being in our bodies, to feel connected to our body and to the ground beneath our feet. And moving our bodies in a natural and connected way helps us shift the stagnant energy within us. Now, you may already have a grounding practice, a way that your body likes to naturally move, and I'd encourage you to do that more intentionally and more often. Some ways you can do this are walking or hiking, running, biking exercise, tai chi, yoga, dancing. You can do this at home or in nature or the gym, wherever feels more restorative or regenerative to you. You could also try walking barefoot on the grass, taking a bath, a hot tub or a sauna, or even doing some gardening. And whatever your activity of choice is, aim to do it for at least 30 minutes every day. But recognize that your body's needs, and you may need to do this more frequently in times of stress or overwhelm. So now on to thinking. And I know this could feel uncomfortable for you, but I encourage you to see its benefits and give it a go. One way to use thinking is like a mini project manager, writing a to-do list and ticking off a few tasks that need to be done. But you can also do some basic analysis, which we're going to do. We're going to analyze your career or job options that you're considering. We will use a basic spreadsheet to assess your career options against 3 things that are important to you and how likely each job will meet that requirement, based on your current best guess. So start by getting a piece of pen and paper or opening your laptop to use an actual spreadsheet and create 5 columns across the top and 20 rows down the left. In the far left column, list all the jobs or careers you've ever considered or even just the ones you're considering right now. And when I did this activity 10 or so years ago, I had a list of 17, which is why I've given you 20 rows, but you don't need to use that many. Now, the next 3 columns represent something that's important to you and your work. And you might have 3, but we want to keep things simple today, so prioritize as needed. Now, if you're not sure what goes in those 3 columns, start by identifying your top 1 to 2 values and then convert them into behaviors, principles, or characteristics you'd like to see in the role or company you're interested in. Using me as an example, my top values are freedom and creativity. And in the workplace, for me, that translates into being able to choose my own start time, working in a colourful environment, and developing content that can help people grow. Yours might be being able to work alone, feeling supported by colleagues, being in a conflict-free environment, being able to create original work or solutions, and having flexibility over the process. Now, I didn't arrive at what was important to me overnight. It took years of different jobs and different experiences to figure that out. And I didn't know it at the time, but I left one job because there was an implied start time of 8:30 a.m, another because I wasn't able to make education a part of my job, and another because the office was painted an endless grey, which just destroyed my soul on a daily basis. But with each role I took on, I had greater and greater clarity about what was important to me and how I could make that a reality. So identify your top 3 workplace needs as you best understand them today, and write 1 in each of those middle columns. And expect these to change over time, but just focus on what you know to be true today. Now we're going to do the analysis. We're going to guess how likely each job will meet those needs. So using a scale of 1 to 5, where 1 is highly unlikely and 5 is highly likely that it will meet those needs, guess how much each job is going to meet that need. So again, as an example, when I was a lawyer, I was less likely to have a flexible start time, hardly ever going to have a colourful office and only occasionally able to create training. Whereas in organisational development, I had more flexibility, a more colourful environment, and created training most of the time, so clearly a better fit for me. Now repeat that process for every job you've listed, and then add up each row, putting the total in the fifth column. Looking down the fifth column, circle the jobs with the highest numbers, as they are the closest match to your workplace needs. What were your top 3? Did any surprise you? And what did you discover about yourself and your needs in this process? Remember that your workplace needs will be unique to you, so no matter how silly, frivolous, or demanding they seem to you, they're important, they matter to you. But don't also assume that they're fixed or won't change. Go out and find out for yourself what's important to you, because you won't know how you feel about it and how it matters to you until you've experienced it.